Aaron and Sonia, good evening, everyone from News 8 Control tonight. This trip was so hush-hush that the governor's office didn't even admit he was out of town until last night. The governor traveled to Washington on Monday night, where he visited recovering service members at Walter Reed Hospital and met with Department of Defense Secretary Leon Panetta, then off to Kuwait, and then on to Afghanistan. Delaware Governor Jack Markell is also on the trip, arranged by the Department of Defense and paid for by them. I'm sure there are a lot of people watching this who are thinking to themselves, you're the governor of a small state. We have no troops in Kuwait. We only have 100 in Afghanistan. So why this trip?
I certainly wanted to understand what our troops are facing when they're called up and when they're sent to Kuwait or to Afghanistan. I think it's part of a support for them. It's also a learning process for me. It's an important opportunity, I think, which the DOD is making available to governors. They invited a large number of governors. Two of us could go on this particular trip, and I have to tell you, I'm proud to be able to make the trip.
What does this bring to the office of the governor? How does this help make you a better governor? It's kind of hard to get a grip here on why
well, Mark, you know,
why the citizens of Connecticut would think this was a good investment sending you there.
Well, Mark, the reality is that Connecticut is a very large supplier with respect to our defense, and that is with respect to goods and services. And obviously, we have been called upon since 9/11 to send our best and brightest to sacrifice on behalf of their fellow citizens. I think it's important that American leaders, whether they happen to be in municipalities or state governments or Congress or Senate, have an understanding of the sacrifices we ask people to make on our behalf. You can say you can do it from a distance, but I happen not to be a believer of that.
The governor told me he's a little jet-lagged from this journey. It's a 10-hour time difference. You can imagine how long it takes to get there. He said he did get a little sleep on the plane on one of the trips. His itinerary still remains secret, but says he will be back at the state capitol in Hartford by Friday. Live from News 8 Control, Mark Davis, News 8.